late. Had to talk to my publisher, but now I'm here. I was watching a very interesting video on Twitter, and this video is actually going to be the subject of my tomorrow content on the main channel. And it's the only time that I actually agree with the... I was watching a very interesting video on Twitter, and this video is actually going to...
I can't find myself. Holy shit.
...be the subject
God,
of
this is the...
my tomorrow content on the main channel.
I will find myself.
And it's the only time that I actually...
Jesus, this is so bad, chat. This is so bad. I have so many links open.
On Twitter, and this video
Where am
is
I?
actually
I
going
can't find
to,
myself. Holy shit.
...be the subject
God,
of
this is the...
my tomorrow content on the main channel.
I will find myself.
And it's the only...
God.
That was horrible. I actually remember back in the late 90s, early 2000s, there were websites that actually had music on, or they had like various sound on, and they would pop up. And once a website popped up, you had to hunt it to find out where it is, because like your browser was full of shit. So yeah, it's kind of like that now. Usually you open a website to remind you when the stream starts, and then you forget about it. And then the stream starts, and the website starts talking, and it's your voice, and it's very annoying, especially because it's things you just said 3 seconds ago. But anyway, right, I managed to hunt it down. Sorry, chat, I apologize for the lack of professionalism. I would say it won't happen again, but you know it, I know it, there's no reason to hide the shame. Yeah, God, where was I? That actually, took me out of my groove. I was in the zone. I was actually... Apparently, I already did something to get this video demonetized. Holy shit, I'm a naughty boy today. Maybe it's the Trump thumbnail. I think this is what it is. I wonder if YouTube will share this video now. Right. Okay. Here we are. Let's talk about the viral video on Twitter, which is what I originally wanted to talk about. And it's about the homeowners association. It's the American dream. Every American dreams to be under a homeowner association. I heard that they're absolutely wonderful. They're the best thing that God has created on his earth. So let's look at it. Right. Oh, let me zoom in.
Hey, so I'm going to ask you to keep them inside.
For what reason?
So I am the president of the POA. I've had numerous people complaining about a noise complaint. Numerous.
They're being kids.
I mean, I have like almost 10 houses now have contacted me.
Okay.
I hate this job.
Obviously you don't, because you're still doing it.
Well, but then they're like barking at me and running. And
They're doing kid stuff. They're kids. That's what...
See, this is a very interesting American concept that I notice. And it's almost entirely purely American. It doesn't exist in Europe. At least the vibe that I get from Twitter is that people are kids until they're like 17 and 11 months and 29 days old. And then they become adults. There is no such thing as teenagers. But there is an exception, though, and this is, again, like, purely American. I don't think any other country does it. If a kid makes a crime, then you can trial him as an adult, and you can put him in a facility with other adults, right? So, like, there is an exception to this, only if they commit a crime. But I just want to say that I'm actually on the side of the homeowner association on this, right? Kids will be kids, yeah. I disagree with that. I totally disagree with that. I think kids are the way parents raise them to be. And if you're the type of parent that gets 10 complaints from 10 other houses, there's like 20 people, and you're giving them the middle finger, I think you're the problem. Because you moved in a neighborhood knowing the rules. Like they don't sneak up on you. It's not like all of a sudden the homeowner association stealthily does some splinter shell shit and matter. No. You know the rule. You choose to be there, and then you behave like a twat. Because here's the thing. I'm looking at the picture, and it's dark outside. Like, when I was a kid, I had these mystical things called parents, and my parents told me that I can scream my lungs out while playing if I want. However, once darkness descends on the neighborhood and people want to sleep, I should shut the fuck up or go back inside. But again, what do I know? You know, these mystical creatures called parents existed back in the day. Now it's all about trust and safety councils and the regulations and shit. Everyone has to agree with me on this one. Let me tell you something else, okay? I live in a similar neighborhood now, and I got a kid myself. He's 3 months old. Do you know what happens if some cheeky little shit would go outside my window and start screaming? It wakes my little baby up. If my little baby wakes up, do you know what he does? He cries. Why? Because he is fucking displeased. He is displeased and disgusted with the lack of parenting that kid that's outside my window screaming. Luckily, it hasn't happened yet. But I'm just saying, you know, and when my kid is going to grow up, I will also teach him the art that is completely ancient and forgotten. It's called manners. Now they teach political correctness, and in political correctness, like, you can scream even at 3 a.m. That's fine. But when I grew up, we learned the ancient art of manners. And manners would teach you that you need to be considerate towards others. Now, here's another thing, right? Again, as I mentioned about America, they are kids until 17 years and 11 months and 29 days. But in the real world, like outside of California, there are teenagers. Teenagers are actually capable of higher cognitive thought. Like, believe it or not, I know it's astonishing, right? But they can understand good from wrong, right? And if you tell them, do not bother the neighbors, do not scream at the neighbors, do not, like, if it's dark outside, keep it quiet, because people have work in the morning, they have other kids, you don't want to wake their kids up, right? They understand. So the only reason why it's not happening is because the parent isn't doing their fucking job at parenting. Right? But the same way they were treating Greta Thunberg as if she's a fucking moron. It's like, well, she's but a child. She can't debate anyone. It's like, no, I'm sorry. When I was a teenager in 11th grade, I knew how to do problems with trigonometry, hypercomplex numbers, biochemistry, quantum physics, geography, history. Yeah, it's called going to fucking school, Greta. So, like, yeah, I could actually debate on many issues. You just told me, like, what the topic of the debate is, and I would do it. And I also knew not to be a chicken little shit when I'm going outside if there's other people. I even knew that if I'm in my room, I shouldn't play the music loud if it's after a certain hour. We used to goof around the neighborhood as kids, but we weren't making that much noise. Yeah, I never barked at adults. Because apparently that's what the homeowner association was saying. Like, they were barking at me. Yeah, I never barked at an adult. I was a kid, I wasn't mentally deficient. Like, maybe when you're like 4 or 5, but those look like teenagers to me. It's like, come on. Where's your parents? Kids are smarter than people give the credit for. Like, we were kids. We actually understood shit. I don't get it. It's like, oh, kids will be kids. Okay, so they can play in the middle of the road then? You know, of course not. Like, when I was a kid, I wanted to play in the middle of the road, but I wasn't. Why? Because my parents told me not to. Why? Because there's cars over there. Come on. HOA banned in all cases, no exception. Well, okay, Bodzors, I will tell you what would happen in Romania if you pull that shit out. So, let's assume you're in a posh neighborhood and your kids are being cheeky little shits. And you have someone that actually wants to sleep, or you have someone that has a baby and your kids are waking him up and it's like 11 p.m. and there's like screaming outside and the kids are barking. Do you know what they do? They call the cops. There's no homeowner association. No. They call the cops. And they call the cops for a noise complaint. Because in Romania, you're not supposed to make loud noises after 10 p.m. So now the cops are going to arrive, and they're going to ask the kids for ID. Now, if they're over 14, they have ID. If they don't, where's your parents? And then you're going to get a knock at the door, and you're going to get a fine. And there's no homeowner association. Yes, homeowner association bad, horrible. Yes, get the police then. You stuff that police officer up their fucking door. Because homeowner association is bad. Oh, well, you want to be civilized. Homeowner association bad. Oh, yeah, no, fine. Fair enough. Yeah, HOA bad. Agree. No, by the way, I hate HOAs, but here's the thing. You choose to go in a place with an HOA. Like, if you want to have kids that are screaming their lungs out, buy a farm on top of a hill. If you have money to buy a house in the suburbs, you have money to buy a farm. Why are you in the suburbs? Go in a small town. Live there. I generally, like, don't understand this mindset. It's like, oh my god. And I see a lot of videos on YouTube. It's like, oh, goodness gracious, the homeowner association. Oh, they're so bad. No, I agree, they are. But you moved there. Like, you moved with the fucking commies. And thank you, Professor. Yeah, I appreciate it. No, honestly, like, the thing with America is that the homeowner association is literally fucking communism. Like, let me show you what I mean, right? Let me find the picture. Okay, right. So, don't know if you guys can see it because it's kind of low resolution, but use your imagination to complete the smudge that's on the screen, and you don't. Every little house looks the same, right? Everything looks the same. And then you have like the most retarded rules imaginable because it's fucking communism. Everyone has to be equal. You're not allowed to be different, right? So, you can't grow vegetables. Okay, you can't have your lawn bigger than a certain size. You cannot paint your house any way you want. You cannot take the trash after 9 p.m. You have to pick up the trash after 8 p.m. You know, like, all sorts of dumb shit. And people complain. And it's like, why the fuck do you move there? Why the fuck do you move there? It's like, if it's hell, why are you moving there? I mean, yeah, sure, you know, you don't have a single store in the area. Like, you can't open a store or a kiosk because, like, they don't allow you. There's no bus station. Like, all of these things. Why did you move there? Doiste! You know, it's like, here's the thing. Like, I get why they're doing it. And all the people bitching about the homeowner association, you don't understand the pain of not having one. So you move here, and let's say that a house is, I don't fucking know, it's America, right? So it's expensive. $1 million. Probably too cheap. But let's say it's $1 million per house, right? Now let's say there's, like why do you have homeowner association? To maintain the same quality of the house when you bought it. Because people actually look at the surrounding area, right? So they look at the surrounding area and they see how the other houses are like, and they see that it's clean and there's no garbage trucks, right? So they're more enticed to buy it, so the price is always going to be $1 million. Now let's assume that you don't have a homeowner association. And you have like a bunch of neighbors that are moving in here. Like you buy this house, right? You buy the one in the corner. And you have like a neighbor moving in here, and he buys like 10 dogs, and they shit the entire porch. And you have like this neighbor moving here, and he's listening to really loud hip-hop music. Maybe he's even having some friends and they're doing pot. And you have like this neighbor here, and he doesn't mow the lawn. It looks like a fucking jungle, right? How much do you think your house is going to worth now? So, you know, like, this is why people move in places with HOAs. It actually maintains the price. I agree they're shit. But it's up to you. Like, you know the rules. When you buy a house, you know the rules. And you're like, okay, do I really want to abide by these rules? Yes or no? If by the way, if the price actually goes down, then people stop voting for the HOAs. I think I can explain, V. Apparently in some large area. Why can't you give a super chat if you want to explain? Holy shit, you Scrooge McDuck. It's how I make money. By communicating through super chats. But you know what? I am a gracious and compassionate YouTuber, and I will actually read what you DM me without you having to pay. In some large area, there is nowhere to go without some HOA. Oh, fuck off. Go and live in a high-rise apartment. Jesus. Check your Discords. I did. Was it? Oh, it was you, Lixian. You have a different name on Discord. I didn't know who you are. Oh, shit. I take back the Scrooge McDuck thing. Yeah, no, I think you vote. Like the people that are there, they vote for the HOA. Isn't it how it works, or it's only in some places? Because I think like that's how it is, right? I don't think that if every single house doesn't want HOA anymore, that you're still going to have HOA. Like literally, if every single person living in that neighborhood goes like, yeah, we hate this HOA, we don't want them, I'm pretty sure like you can work something out. So no, I do think it's about voting. But it is pure communism, I'll give you that. It is the bridge toll for the chip chatter. Nobody actually lives in these. They buy up the property so that they can resell them. No, I think Matt Walsh lives in one of those. But I'll tell you what happens without HOA, right? So like this is the story of my place. When I first moved in here, the developer showed me and my wife a really nice park. It's like a really nice park, and there's a lake in the middle, and there's a lot of seats, and it's looking really cool, right? And it's like, hey, you move here, you get access to the lake. I think I even made some videos by the lake, and I fed the fish. It was really fun, right? And after the developer sold most of the houses, he puts up a fence, puts up a lock, and now no one gets to go to the lake. Now, it's not that I really give a shit about the lake, but like, I'm pretty sure the price of my house just went down now. It's because people who bought here bought with the lake in mind. It's like, it's a nice place, right? So it's more of a coveted location. Now, if there was a homeowner association that would say, no, like the lake is part of the thing, then he couldn't have put the lock. But because there is no homeowner association, this is what happens. Like, the situation from when I bought the house to what it is now has changed. And so the price changes as well. This is why people have homeowner associations. Of course, obviously, like a lot of homeowners associations are ran by tyrannical twats. I understand the suffering, but again, you choose to go there. Right? I don't bitch and I don't complain because when I moved here, I didn't sign a contract for the lake. So, yeah. These are some generic commercial houses. Again, I think that Matt Walsh lives there. This would never have happened under the Soviets. No, the Soviets used to have them for the inner party members. So, like, if you are someone, you actually got some good shit. If you're a nobody, a peasant, then no, you got the high-rise apartment. HOAs are run by suburban HR ladies. Well, no comments. Look, I will tell you something else. Why the HOAs are run by the HR ladies. If you're a man and you're an HOA owner, you're going to get punched. There's no way around it, right? Like, imagine going to someone else's house and bitching about the size of their grass. They're going to escort you out of their property with 10 or 15 kicks up your ass. Like, no one is going to hurt an HR lady. People are annoyed by her. People probably in their imagination do anti-TOS things to her, but in reality, like, no one is going to put hands on the HR lady, right? So this is probably why all HOAs are ran by the HR lady. This is exactly why I don't want to live in the suburbs. I plan to just build my house when the economy turns over. Well, American Outlier, I was going to congratulate you for the first statement, but the second, when the economy turns over, you may as well replace it when pigs will fly. Let me help you with this, V. High-rise apartments can also have HOAs. Oh, fuck off. Called Condo Owner Association. No fucking way. Also, let's say 50% of the neighborhood voted for HOA to be started, and they make it a gated neighborhood. Okay, I think like things would be different if you're the person that lived there since day one, and then the HOA snuck up on you. It's like, okay, that's different. I agree. But like in the situation of the video that I showed, it was a cheeky little shit that just moved in because the HOA had to introduce herself. So like if she has to introduce herself, it means that he wasn't there for long, so therefore. The only people who want to be the head of HOA are people that shouldn't. Well, how do you force someone to be HOA if they don't want to? In Romania, we also have a sort of HOA for apartment complexes. We called him, yeah, I think it's actually called the Chief of the Ladder. Sounds really ridiculous when you translate it like that. No, the Chief of Stairs. Yeah, the Chief of Stairs. Hold on, let me show you why. Chefu de Scare is the translation. But yeah, it's the Chief of Stairs. Let me see if I can show you the interior of a communist bloc. I'm trying to find a good picture. Ah, here we go. So, basically, this is how communist buildings looked like. People who lived in Eastern Europe are going to get a huge nostalgia hit right now. But yeah, so you have like the elevator and then you have the stairs, right? So the Chief of Stairs, like the guy in charge of all the apartments. Now, usually, he is the one that deals with administrative issues. So, like, for instance, the building needs repainting. There's an infiltration of water at the ground floor, and it needs repairs. People want to buy a heater, or the heater needs repairs. The elevator is damaged, right? You go to the Chief of Stairs, and he's going to summon everybody. Usually, it's like 10 or 15 people going. And they're going to discuss, and they're going to say, right, we want to fix the elevator. How much will it cost? And then they agree whether or not to do it, and right, so that's but it's not really like a homeowner association. Although, like, if you're playing music late at night, if you're lucky, like this is like if you're lucky, he will actually knock at your door and tell you to keep quiet. If you're unlucky, which is usually the norm, people just call the cops. And then you wake up with the knock at your door and you get a fine. It's usually a hefty fine. So, yeah, preferably the Chief of Stairs is the one that handles business. Chefu de Rayon. You never voted to be in the HOA, and you didn't have the ability to stop the gate from being installed, and you now have to gate to your neighborhood that you don't have access to. The HOA can enforce codes on non-HOA members. Yeah, okay, if that's the situation, I understand. It really sucks. I guess, like, what you can do in that particularity, if you really hate it, you can move. But you should have gone political. You should have gotten invested into politics and prevented the other 50% from voting for the HOA. You can do so through various means, usually bribery. It works really well. Like, you can bribe people. I have done this in my old apartment complex. I wanted to install a heater, and there were like 4 old ladies that didn't want to, so I bribed them. And then they wanted. I'm like, okay. So you need to go political, you know? I bribed 4 of them. The 5th one I actually talked to. And I think like she was fuming when she found out that the other 4 got bought off. HR lady should always be censored. Yeah, the Stairmaster is actually. What did you bribe them with? Cash. Yes, cash works. You give them an envelope. And you're asking them to consider how they vote next time. The HOA vote is not real. The development owner has the final say. They don't move into places that are freshly built by development owners that have a track record of installing HOAs. Come on. I don't understand. Why am I not falling into shit like this? Grease the wheels of the industry, yes? This is how Eastern Europe works. Violence also works. Yeah, they were old ladies. I mean, come on.
Is that something that
although like certain times you can frame things in an interesting light, and you can say, look, you live on the ground floor. I live on top of you at floor number 5. I have a cat. And the cat has cat litter. Now, if I don't have hot water, I may get really upset. And you know what I do when I'm upset? I throw the cat litter in the fucking toilet. You know what that does? Doesn't cause me any problem. Going to cause you problems because you're the one living at the bottom floor. And then your toilet is going to have all that piss water with cat shit just flowing out. Now, if I have hot water, I would never do it. Like, can you prove it's me? I mean, there's a lot of people that have cats. Not just me. I think like the guy at the 3rd floor has cat. The guy at the 6th floor has cat. A lot of people have cats. So only one person would throw the yeah, literally, it's how toilets work. If you're in an apartment complex, I never had a conversation like that, by the way. But like, if push, usually like, I would do things like this if other people were being dicks to me. So, for instance, there was a neighbor here which had a dog. And that's great, you know? I support people having dogs. But the problem is he wasn't keeping it on a leash. And the dog would often come into my yard and take a shit. And I don't understand why I did it in my yard, but not in my neighbor's yard. Like, my neighbor's yard was clean. My yard was filled with dog feces. So I go and have a conversation, you know? It's like, look, do you not have money to build a doghouse? Because I can help you. And that's fine. I'm a neighbor. I can help you build a doghouse. Like, it's fine. You know what? I'll pay for it. I'll even get the man to set it up. But I want you to keep your dog on a leash. And my neighbor wasn't reasonable. He was like, well, yeah, but like the dog in a leash is like, how is he going to run it out? How is it? And I'm like, look, you got until next month, because next month I'm going to start buying pigeons. And if I buy pigeons, they're going to shit up the whole place. They're going to shit on your car, they're going to shit on your roof, they're going to shit everything. Because if you're going to be like that, unconsiderate, I can be unconsiderate as well. And trust me, I'm very inventive. I can get macaws. You know what macaws are? Hey, there's parrots when they go ara. Yeah, they literally go ara. And apparently, legend has it, you can hear them from 1 mile away. I don't live 1 mile away from you. I live next door to you. So, like, if you really want to do this... And then the guy, you know, he looked at me angrily and then found out, it's like, no, he's crazy. Like your neighbor is insane, and he will do it. So, get that, you know what he did? He got a doghouse. I was like, wow, great. Excellent. Chickens is something that I wouldn't do. Like, chickens is the worst. Like, if you have chickens... first of all, I think it's actually illegal now. Like, you need a license to have chickens. But secondly, like, yeah, they stink up the place. You have roosters that craw in the morning. No, it's horrible. But the thing is, like, the other neighbors told him, it's like, hey, we also live here, and your dog is also shitting on our porch, but, like, if he gets pigeons, the pigeons aren't going to discriminate. They're going to shit everywhere, so, like, please. Come on. And basically, they spoke reason to the man. But yeah, no, like, usually, this is how things are dealt in Eastern Europe, you know, like, people have respect, and they're very considerate, like, do you know how considerate I am, chat? Do you want to know how considerate I am? My window is closed now. My window is fucking closed. Why? Because there's a house across the street, and I don't want the people there, who are probably trying to get asleep, to hear my squeaky voice as I'm recording a live stream. That's how fucking considerate I am, chat. I am actually boiling from the heat. I can't open the door because the air conditioning is on the hallway. I can't open the door because my wife is sleeping with the baby. I don't want to wake them up. I'm not opening the window because my neighbors may hear me talking, right? So I am this level of consideration. And you know what? I expect other people to be considerate as me as well. And if they're considerate and I'm considerate, we'll live in harmony. When they're being cheeky little shits, I can be a cheeky little shit plus two. Like, I can find ways to just make it a little bit extra. Now, no matter how much of a cheeky little shit you think you are, I will always manage to outdo you. Yeah, you need a chicken license. Well, the European Union apparently doesn't like it when people are competing with the chicken industrial complex. So basically, they don't want you to have your own pet or your own food, right? Like the movement is towards eating the bugs. That's the progressive utopia we're heading towards. So they don't want people to actually grow their livestock. And in Romania, it's very popular to raise chickens. So yeah, you need a license to raise chickens now. Trying to be considerate of your neighbor is something we also try over here in the Latin word. Yeah, but it only works if you're also going to be a dick towards people who aren't considerate. Because it's a two-way street. If you tolerate disrespect, the disrespect fosters. It's like a rotten apple. It spoils the entire bunch. The moment you see disrespect, you gotta nip it in the bud. You just cannot allow people to disrespect you. You can have chickens here in the US, but it depends on it depends on the homeowner association, right? They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, but not the bugs. Right, let's talk about the Trump second assassination attempt, because this one is very interesting. So, apparently, the shooter was actually someone. As in, they were in a BlackRock commercial. What are the fucking odds, though? You just gotta wonder at some point. Like, two shooters, both of them in BlackRock commercials. Like, come on. Is the third one, heaven forbid, like, I'm not wishing that there's going to be a third one. But if there is it also going to be from a BlackRock commercial? Because what I think now is that if you find all the people that starred in BlackRock commercials and you arrest them until the elections, under house arrest or whatever, I think Trump will be safe. Like, I think if you manage to contain all the people from all the BlackRock commercials, I think the presidential candidate will be safe. Yeah, he had Ukrainian colored hair. Now, what's interesting, and this is from what I heard, take into account, this is recent news, right? May not be accurate, but he was sitting there for more than 10 hours with a assault rifle, ghost weapon of war. And the media is saying, well, yeah, but he didn't fire at Trump. I see. Is that how it works? Right. So, do you apply the same logic to the January 6th protesters? It's like, yeah, but they didn't actually go to where the senators are. 12 hours? Can you imagine? Can you imagine staying on a golf course for 12 hours? So it's like from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Holy fucking shit. Yeah, the ghost of, what is it? It's not Mar-a-Lago. Where was this taking place? What is the location of the golf club called? It's Florida, right? The ghost of Florida. That's what he was. Although not pretty good at it. The ghost of Palm Beach. Maybe if he didn't dye his hair, he would be able to camouflage himself better. Like, imagine dyeing your hair blue and trying to stay camouflaged. Like, it's not going to work. Trump International. Yeah, it doesn't sound really good, like the ghost of Trump International. No. The ghost of West Palm Beach. See, if I was in the media, this is how I would have called it. The ghost of... All jokes aside, though, dude, they're now trying to blame it on Trump. It's like, it's his rhetoric that, like, come on. Like, I know people in America, especially leftists, that they're the top buyers of bullshit. Like, when it comes about selling bullshit, the leftists are going to be, like, your number one customers. But, like, even they have, like, some level of, you know, okay, this is way too much bullshit. Way too much. Destiny and human Biden dev must be so sad that the glowy has failed. Destiny and dev. I bet dev is like, well, let's wait and see. They're saying tone it down. Let me tell you what they're doing, right? Like what the media is doing right now with Trump. Because I've noticed their playbook. They use words that don't even exist in normal conversation, like unhinged. Like it's not a word that doesn't exist. It's more like, when is the last time you guys have used the word unhinged at your normal conversations with your colleagues or with your coworkers, with your family members, you know, unhinged. He's doing it for himself. Another primer. Like, how can you know what he is doing it for? Like, are you a mind reader? Because you must be a mind reader if you know what he's doing. He's doing it for himself. And even if he's doing it for himself, if you're actually getting a benefit from what he's doing, who fucking cares, right? But yeah, unhinged, doing it for himself, threat to democracy. Again, like, how do you quantify threat to democracy? Like, what is that? Like, when was this even used before? So they're coming up with all of these interesting things, right? Chaos, threat to democracy, unhinged, does it for himself. And it primes people to think about him like, no matter what he does, now it's a negative light, right? He says bloodbath. Or he says fight, fight, fight. Like if someone says fight, fight, fight in a normal conversation, you don't even think about violence. Like if you go to work and your boss says, we need to really fight today because it's Black Friday and we need to really fight in order to make sure that all of us are going to do our best, right? So we need to fight hard to meet that deadline. We need to fight hard to meet that quota. No one is going to think that he's saying violence, right? But because people are primed, and it's like Trump, unhinged, does it for himself, threat to democracy, chaos. When he says fight, 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 oh, violence. Bloodbath, oh, violence. Right? It's the way that they are priming people to think about Trump in a way that no matter what he does, when he says a metaphor, it's violence. When the Democrats don't say metaphor and they're actually talking about it, like during the BLM riots, and it's like, oh, protesters have a right to be angry. They should go out there. That's fine, you know, that's peaceful. Mostly peaceful rhetoric. But when Trump says, oh yeah, well, if I don't get elected, and what will happen in the automobile industry will be a bloodbath. They're like, oh my God, right? They are using stochastic terrorism. I actually know what stochastic terrorism means. So like, stochastic terrorism means that while you cannot predict the actions of one individual, if the rhetoric is dialed up to 11 and you have millions of people listening to that rhetoric, over a period of time, it is actually predictable that some people that are, dare I say, unhinged, are actually going to commit acts of violence. That is stochastic terrorism. It's when you are aware that your rhetoric can actually lead to harm and you dial it to 11. The term stochastic terrorism has been removed from the lexicon. Get the fuck out. There was another term that they also removed during COVID. Mass psychosis event. Like, the mass psychosis event is actually very interesting. So, there was a town in the United States. I forgot the name, but basically what happened is that a couple of people started running. Kind of like in Forrest Gump. I think like Forrest Gump actually inspired itself from that event. You have a couple of people and they're just running. And more people join, and more people join. And eventually it creates this mass psychosis event where everyone is running, but they're running scared. Like, they don't know why they're running. Because, like, again, you see, like, 20 people just running, and more join, right? Like, that is a mass psychosis event. Like, they're doing something, and they don't know why, but they're doing it because everyone does it. And I think it's like a sense of self-preservation in a way, right? Because, like, if you hear people screaming and running away, like, you're not going to go into the direction they're running from. Like, because, like, there are certain situations in life where you can't just say, well, hold on a little bit. Why are you running? What's going on? You know, like, can we have a conversation? Like, no, if the person is panicked, like, you are going to assume maybe it's a shooter, maybe it's a bear, maybe it's something, right? Like, people are running away. So, eventually, like, people got home and they never talked about it. No one wanted to talk about it. Can I show the BlackRock ad? No, I don't have it at hand. Why does this shit always have origins in America? I think it's because they also have like a lot of influence on culture, and they dominate the social media because all social media companies are in Silicon Valley. So you're not going to get... And on top of that, you also have Europe that's being denationalized on purpose. Like, people in Britain don't even know what British culture is. You can ask them, what is British culture? They don't fucking know. So you have, like, a situation where nationality is eroded in Europe. And the only thing that's being promoted is American values. But unfortunately, it's woke values. Like, I'm sorry to say this, but, like, the woke have taken over America. And they are promoting woke values. Which is why most of this stuff is coming from the United States. To be fair, though, the whole COVID thing, that comes from China. But I'm pretty sure that if the United States would have said, yeah, no, fuck that shit, we're not going to Chinificate our cities and apply the same authoritarian measures like you guys did in China, no, we're going to do something else. I think if they did that, Europe wouldn't have done what they did either. To be fair, though, there is a country that would, Israel. Like, for some fucking reason, in every other nation on earth, people were protesting against the lockdowns, while Israel was protesting for the lockdowns. I don't think there's any other nation on earth that did so. So you actually had, like, Israel being like, no, we're not going to do lockdown. And you had people on the streets protesting, demanding, no, lock us up. I'm like, okay. British culture is fish and chips and being underachievers in football. Yeah, I really hated this, man. Like, when you go to Britain, you immediately know what British culture is. I mean, I can tell you the one that's right now, and I can tell you the one that used to be. So the one that's right now, they are almost entirely devoted to the cult of environmentalism. They are almost entirely devoted to the idea of refugees are welcome here, and tone policing and speech policing and all that shit. They are incredibly mass surveil friendly to the point where you go into the metro to take a piss, and as you look into the wall in front of you, you see this area is supervised by CCTV. They love creating Project Fear. Like, seriously, I was in the subway and I'm looking at this menacing ad in front of me, and it's like, if you stare too much, you may land in prison. Stare harassment is like, what the fuck? Right, so like that's what it is now. But back in the day, it used to be... I would even compare it with the Japanese when it comes to the level of politeness that British people had. It was like almost a disgusting level of politeness because you couldn't tell if it's true or not. They had a very strong class conscience. Like, it wasn't about race, it was about class. So, and the thing is, like, people knew what class they're into, and they would behave appropriately. Like, if you are part of the working class or the lower classes, like, you would have a specific behavior. And they would also have a respect towards the upper classes. And the upper classes also treated the lower classes nicely. But they knew they were upper class. Like, it was, like, certain expectations that society had from the upper classes that they wouldn't have from the lower ones, if that makes sense. So that was, like, all part of British culture, which don't exist now. Like when I was in the UK, my fucking god, like some of the most rude people imaginable. And this is my experience. Like, obviously not every single one, but like some of the most rude people imaginable were the young women. Like, I was in the subway, and I had women step on me, like literally just step on my shoe. And I would expect an apology, you know, because in Romania, if that happens, like, it can happen, right? You're in the subway, it's crowded, there's a sudden break, and if the person isn't careful, they can step on your shoe, right? Or you can bump into someone. Now, my mother told me to say sorry, I apologize, my bad. But when it happened in the UK, because I went with the bus a lot and with the subway a lot because I couldn't afford the cab. I mean, it's fucking London, who can afford the cab, right? So, during rush hour, like, yeah, people bumped into you. Every single man would apologize. Every single man was like, oh, sorry, my bad. Women would just like, meh. And then they would look at me with disdain. It's like, I'm looking towards them, expecting the apology, right? Like, you just bumped into me, the fuck? They were just like, as if I wasn't there. And no, this is not women, right? This is Britain. Like, we don't do this in Eastern Europe. In Eastern Europe, if a lady, like, first of all, women are more careful. They don't bump into people. But if they do happen to bump into you, they fucking apologize. Like, it's normal. And I'm like, what? Who the fuck are their parents? How did they get raised like that? Did they get raised in a barn? There's a difference between a caste system and a class system, I think. The caste system is heavily enforced, while the class system also allows you to go up and go down from a class, right? So, like, if you have lower class parents, and they manage to save money and put you through a university, and you become, like, middle class or upper class, like, you can transition from one class to another. There's social mobility like that. Meanwhile, with the caste system, if you're an untouchable, then, well, tough shit. Like, the only way you can get out is if you actually go into the United States or travel abroad. Now, from my understanding, they tried to abolish the caste system. And YouTube actually and other social medias, they have rules where it makes it a violation if you mistreat someone based on class, if that makes sense. But I don't know. Like, I've never been to India. I probably don't want to go there either. Like, what is there to visit? The class system also exists in Ireland. Well, when I say UK, you need to understand. Alright? All of you look alike. Like, when you're outside of the island, it doesn't matter if you're Irish, Scottish, or English. Like, I know this pisses you off, but, like, listen. I don't think you can make a difference between Polish and Hungarian. So, like, come on. Although, you know, like, if I were to rate the mental illness, I would say that when it comes to London, their policies are absolutely batshit insane. When it comes to authoritarianism, I would think that Scotland is a close second. And the Irish, They seem to be, like, the most resilient to globalism out of all. Like, compared to Scotland and compared to England, the Irish do seem to actually have some backbone. And they're like, no, actually, we're Irish, right? Fuck you, we're not citizens of the world. But yeah. India is filled with poop? See, I don't know because I've never been, but what I do know is that I've seen TikTok videos and I haven't fact-checked this. I need to test it. But apparently, Google Maps censored the ground in India. So, like, if you try to look at the ground in India through Google Maps, it's censored. And let me check if this is true or not. Why large swaths of the countries are censored on Google Map? I know that there was like a joke. There was this meme that someone started on Twitter.
What's wrong with this world? Because people like you and those other people don't let kids be kids, okay?
Shut up. There was this joke that on Twitter it started. You need to log on Google Maps and you need to go in any Indian city and you need to click a point and you win if you do a 360 and you don't see any trash or you don't see any poop. Like, if that happens, you win the game. And people have been playing for hours attempting to win it. Now, I don't know how true it is, because, you know what? Let me see. No, there's no fucking way. There's no way it's true. Okay, so, where's India on the map? Look, I know where China is, okay? It's gotta be pretty big, doesn't it? Okay, I found India. Holy shit! I had to hide it. I don't want to embarrass myself. Okay, so we're going to India and Nagpur. Nagpur looks like a welcoming place, right? So allegedly, we gotta go on the ground. How do you go on the ground? Where's the Do you click on it? Huh? No, like, take me there. Do I need to type in the address? Yeah, I don't actually use Google Maps. All right, I think we're here. All right, so we're at Sandneep Auto Service. And we saw trash. Shit. We saw trash, so we didn't win. Yeah. Okay. Let's try something else. Dude, this game is hard, man. It's not as easy as I thought. Okay, let's go here. New Ramdaspeth. But why though? Okay, let's try countryside. So let's avoid the big cities. Look this one. Tekanaka. All right, we're in Tekanaka now. Did I win? Hey, I think I won the game. There's no trash. There's no poop. It's not a hard game. Where are people disrespecting the country, huh? But yeah, apparently Google Maps censors the ground like this. Like, I'm going to check to see if they do it the same in Romania. Hold on, let's look at my country now. Let's look at Romania. Let's Okay, so we're going to go to Romania. Let's pick a city. All right, let's go to this city. Let's go to Iași. The Red Bridge. This is actually a place that's not very clean. All right, let's see if wait, why? God damn it! Take me on the ground. Why isn't it taking me on the ground? So you get like satellite imagery, you get terrain. Here we go. All right. See, the ground isn't censored here. Isn't that fucking interesting? Yeah, there's no trash. I mean, this is like actually a place which I expected that it would be a little bit more dirty. All right, let's try the cultural palace. What is Romania's GDP compared to India, I wonder? I think they're richer than us, aren't they? Does this count, chat? Huh? Where is it? Where's the trash? Oh my god, they cleaned it up. See how fast they cleaned it up? Like, you see the trash 1 second, and then it's like, poof, gone, it's clean. So, like, there's the trash here, but as you approach, there you fucking go. No more trash. They cleaned it up. You know, to be fair, if there's cars parking here, when the garbage man comes, like, they can't clean under the cars, right? So, like, if people are parking the cars during the night, then during the morning there may be trash because the garbage man, which usually comes at dusk, like, he's not going to be able to clean under the cars. So there we go. We found an excuse. Does this count? I don't know. I think it should. I think it should. Like, you want to see this in Japan, I bet. Yeah. Well. Per capita? Why do you need per capita in order to clean the streets? It's the public office that cleans the streets, right? It's not like the individual people, they need to pull money from their pockets to clean the streets. It's why you pay taxes. Back in the day, we used to use this in school and street view European beaches, especially the Croatian ones. Yeah, why do people keep going with the median wealth? Look, it's the central government that has the duty to clean the streets. To be fair, the people have to maintain the cleanliness either. It's like a two-way street. It's a joint effort. Hold on, let me see in Japan. Where the fuck is Japan? It's next to North Korea, isn't it? I was close. It's next to South Korea. But come on, it counts, doesn't it? Alright, let me see a village in Japan. Like, I want to see a rural area. Alright, let's go here. Let's go in the mountains. What is this? Naikabuchi. Naikabuchi. Okay, let's check Naikabuchi. Oh, come the fuck on. Even in Romania, places like this have some sort of garbage somewhere. How do these people manage to live in the winter? Like if there's a massive snow, how does this manage to stay up? Like, it looks as if it's made out of paper. Don't get me wrong, it looks pretty cool, but like, if there's a nasty blizzard, the people here are going to have a very bad time. It is so fucking weird that it looks like a mixture of Romanian houses, but with an Asian twist. Like, I'm not kidding, chat. Like, these types of houses are... I think it may be due to the Mongols. I generally think so. Like, they brought some of the design, and the Romanians just kept what worked and discarded the rest. Or is it the communism from North Korea? I don't fucking know, but it's some of these houses are eerily similar to the ones where I grew up in. Yeah, let's see a city. Hold on. Myoken Shrine. There's a shrine here. Do they have foxes? I know they have some foxes next to some shrines. Here we go. Well, where's the fucking shrine? Huh? Oh, I need to go here? Is this the shrine? Hold on. I think this is the shrine. I mean, on the map it says Byokan Shrine. Oh, this is it? It can't be. I think the map is wrong. Yeah, it's a bus station. Why does it say shrine? Or you gotta go into the woods to see it? I don't know, it's weird. Expand. Right, let's go into a city. Soyako. Soyakyo? Let's see what's in Soyakyo. How does it work if I'm double clicking? Alright, this one looks like a city. I hope I'm not going to see anything questionable regarding anime because it's YouTube, so. They also have like that penis festival. I hope we're not going to run into that on YouTube either. Man, okay, this is like purely Japanese design. We don't have this in Romania. It's so fucking weird. It's like the buildings are tall, but they're very constrained. It's like, can you imagine living in this? So like, yeah, you get the access. Like, if you want space, you gotta go up. But like, on the ground floor, like maybe you can put a sofa. I know it's a business building, right? But I've seen them have residential buildings like this. And I'm thinking like, okay, so you put a sofa and that's it. Like, you just fill the entire ground floor. Oh my Goto, look at this. Bikes without the bike lock. Hey, Americas, does this thing exist in your country? Is this like a unnatural phenomenon? Like, is this like a cryptoid thing where you get to see a bike without the bike lock? All jokes aside, though, like, I heard that bike theft is actually a thing in Japan. Like there are a couple. Usually in Japan, like, no one steals. Like, you don't have pickpockets and stuff. But there are, like, for some fucking reason, people stealing umbrellas and people stealing bikes. And it's like, why would you steal a bike? Like, it's not like in the 90s where one was expensive. Like, now bikes are affordable, and yet people steal them regardless. Is it like an achievement? It's like, you got to steal the bike? Like, why do they do it? They don't really seem to have fences. Yeah, that's another bizarre thing. That's how I was growing up in Korea. No one had bike locks. Ash stole Mister's bike? Is that a thing? In Japan, people once steal the change left behind in a vending machine. Well, if you're that rich, what would you do with it? Honestly, though, I don't know if I reach the level of richness or if the inflation is this bad. But I don't take change anymore. Like anything that has to do with coin, I despise. And the reason I despise it is that nothing is more annoying than when you open your wallet and all the change falls down because you didn't open it properly. You held it upside down or some shit. Like, you know, you're in a rush to reach for the credit card, and all of a sudden, all the coins fall down from your wallet. Like, did you guys experience that? So fucking annoying. I really hate coins. Like, why do coins even exist? Why can't they just use paper bills for everything? Bikes are stolen daily in Melbourne. Even with bike locks. Jesus. Bikes without bike locks are common in Good Neighbors. Particularly the armed ones. Come on, I don't think like anyone would shoot someone over a bike. Do you guys aim for the tires though? Like, you're in America, you know, and they take a bike and it's like aim for the tires. Too many super chats. It's not about the super chats. Like, I was doing this even before YouTube. I just despise anything that's coinage. But take into account that in Romania coins don't have value. Like this is something that mindfucked me when I went into the UK. Okay, so in Romania, coins literally have no value. Like, you need a lot of coins in order to be able to buy something, right? So they're more like, the only reason you have a coin in Romania is for the shopping cart. Like, in some places, you need to put a coin in the shopping cart, right? So I go to London, and I thought that coins are like in Romania, but then I find out no, like they have pounds in coins, and pounds are expensive, and I'm like, oh shit. No, you don't pay for the cart. You put the coin in the cart, and it unlocks, right? And then when you're done with the cart, if you put the cart back, you get your coin back. And what some people would do is they would take like 10 or 15 carts, and then they would take the coins from the carts. By the way, chat, I actually wondered, speaking of bike locks, I was actually curious if you commit a crime. And I'm pretty sure there must be a crime for doing this, but like I genuinely don't know what. If you take a bike lock and you lock someone's bike, like it's not your bike, but you just put the bike lock on it and you walk away. Like nothing else, that's it. Like you take a bike lock and you lock someone's bike. Like what crime are you committing? Because it's not damage of property. It's not theft. It's not robbery. And I genuinely tried to think it out. I couldn't think. Yeah, tampering with what's... No, it's not theft because the bike is there. You're not stealing the bike. Tampering with someone's property is not necessarily a crime. It's not theft. No. Theft means that you take away the good, right? So like the definition of theft in many countries, and I think it's the same in America, is taking someone's good with the intention of assuming possession. So like, in order for it to be theft, I need to take your bike and then I own it. But I'm not taking your bike. I'm not even touching it. I'm putting a bike lock on it. That's it. No, it's not vandalism because you're not damaging the bike. Let me ask ChatGPT. I'm actually curious. So if a person in the US, Texas, places a bike lock on someone else's bike with the intention of trolling, what crime is he committing? Okay, apparently they have a crime for this shit, which is like something broad, and it's called criminal mischief in Texas. And it covers damage or interference with someone's property. Okay, so it's criminal mischief. I love the fact that they thought about a crime that is like really ambiguous, but it actually covers this as well. Because I knew, like, dude, it has to be a crime. Like, it has to be something. And you can think about it. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a bike, like a lock. Like for instance, someone parks a car, right? What if you park your car in such a way that you box them in? So, like, you're not touching their car. You're not stealing their car. You're not damaging their car. But if you park in such a way, and let's say it's a parking lot, right? So, like, there's no rules or anything like that. I mean, maybe you can make the argument that, okay, you get a parking violation, which is fine. But, like, what about the person that's damaged? Like, they cannot use their car until you move your vehicle. And if you just flat out refuse to move it, they're like, okay, I have a parking violation. I'll pay for the parking ticket. That's fine. I don't think it's illegal detention and kidnapping because, like, the person can just walk out of their car. Like, they're not forced to stay in their car. They can open the door and leave. So you're not detaining them. And you're not kidnapping them. Like it's not my like the idea of kidnapping isn't that well you stole someone's car and now they're forced to stay with the car. No. Yeah, sure, you're going to get towed eventually, but like until you get towed, and even if you do get towed, like the people that you inconvenienced, I mean, don't they get any justice? Like if you're just genuinely being an ass, like if I'm okay with getting towed, I got a lot of cash, I don't give a fuck, I just want to mess with you, and you're in a parking lot and I box you in. Now sure, you're like, oh well, this person blah blah blah, and then you make phone calls, and after 4 or 5 hours a tow truck comes. Like, all right, sure, but like that's half a day that you missed. Depends if intentional, 100% intentional. Deprived of service. Hold on, let me actually ask ChatGPT. If a person parks a car in such a way that it boxes in another car, what crime are they committing? So illegal parking, obstruction of traffic, blocking driveways. Oh, harassment. If the action is done deliberately to inconvenience or harass the other driver, sorry about that, it could be viewed more seriously. Although this is more common and it requires proof of intent. Okay, so now we know. I think all of these property offenses are pointless. 2024, the real danger is words. You know what? That's right. I need to stop the stream now. I need to stop the stream and go talk with my publisher. Hopefully we can talk about releasing the Steam page. Did you know a study came out a few months ago that showed the more anti-gun leftists, the smaller pee-pee they have? Also, did you see the Short Fat Otaku pet video? No. God. If I want to watch Short Fat Otaku, I just watch Destiny. Like, you get the news fresher, you understand where the take is coming from, and you know that the person is a leftist. So if I really want to... Yeah. Alright, let me know what you think. I'll see you guys in the comment section. Take care. I am seeing